Today on Caveman Keto Recipes, I'm going to make you one of my favorite lunches, cheesy chicken casserole. It starts with cutting up some green onions. I'm going to start with cutting up the vegetables so that I don't have to use two cutting boards. Next, we want to start the chicken part of this recipe. You have to cut up a ton of chicken, 8 breasts to be exact, or approximately 64 ounces. We're going to cut them into small 1-inch cubes. While the chicken's cooking, we can take this time to shred the Monterey Jack cheese in the recipe. You can of course just buy pre-shredded Monterey Jack cheese, but just be aware that it has extra carbs in the form of potato starch. So personally, I like to shred my own. All set. Once the chicken is done and the cheese is grated, we're ready to start putting everything together. Like I mentioned in my Caveman Keto diet meal plan, you pretty much have to think like an industrial chef. We're using this 7.5 quart huge thing to mix it. You don't want it to be hard to mix, flowing over the edges. You want something massive. So start by adding 4 teaspoons of taco seasoning. Mix that in there. Mix it up with the chicken. Next, you're going to take some green salsa. In case you're wondering, you could use really any salsa. This happens to be an incredibly low carb salsa, and for some reason green is a lot lower carb than red, so I went with green salsa. Add in your chilies. Add in your sour cream. Mix it all together really well. And this is the final mixture. Now, again, you're going to need a large pan. This is 11 by 15 4-quart pan. You're going to grease it, and then you're going to simply pour the chicken mixture into it. Now, remember we shredded the cheese. You put the cheese in, you cook this at 350 degrees for approximately 25 minutes. Then you add the cheese to the top, and then you cook for another 5 minutes. So we'll hold off on the cheese until later. And then we also cut up those green onions. Those go in after it's cooked. So at the very end. So just save those for a little bit. Smooth this out. Give it a bit of a shake. And put it in the oven. After 25 minutes, the chicken casserole should look like this. Take your Monterey Jack cheese and sprinkle it over the top. Now put it back in the oven for another 5 minutes. After you cook the cheese on the Caveman Keto cheesy chicken casserole, you want to let it set for a few minutes. After it's set for a few minutes, you want to cut it into whatever portion sizes you're going to use. Today, I'm going to cut it into 8s. But it could also easily be cut into 10. 8's really easy. Just cut it in half lengthwise. Cut it approximately in half. And then split the difference again. Then I use these pans. These are my favorite, these storage containers. They're slightly beefier than the ones I use for breakfast. Kind of like it to hold it, especially if there's going to be liquids involved. So I just throw it in there. Like that. And I'll continue with the rest of them. The final step is to take each of the dishes, grab some of the green onions, and just sprinkle them on top. Add a lid. You're all set for lunch for the week.